My name is Marv Fox Jr., and this is Meticulous Basketball. For the next hour or so, I'll show you a collection of drills that will help you become a more complete basketball player. And by complete, I mean fundamentally sound. On the offensive end, you want to be able to perform 5 fundamental skills: passing, dribbling, scoring, moving without the basketball, and catching. If you can perform these 5 skills with contact, you're going to put yourself in great position to not only be a team member, but a contributing and productive team member. You also want to be able to maximize your skill in one of these 5 areas. That's how you can change the game. So maybe you are a great ball handler. You consistently get to the paint. Maybe you're a great passer. The team's able to run the offense through you because you're able to get everybody involved. Or maybe you catch well. Now, how does catching help you change the game? Maybe you're good on defense, or maybe you're awesome at rebounding the basketball. You want to be a complete player, but you also want to have a niche that makes you unique and helps you to change the game. I want to give you a workout that will be progressive. We'll start with drills that are low intensity to high intensity. We'll break down drills and then give you more complicated concepts so that you can use what we're doing here on the training floor and transition it to the basketball court. You can take some of what we're doing and implement it into your own workout, or you can take the entire workout and just try to mimic it when you're working in the gym. Let's get started. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start off with our passing drills. Now with the passing drills, we're going to work on our footwork, which every drill that we do in basketball is going to be a footwork drill, but we're also going to work on our hands in terms of the pass and in terms of the catch. So we'll start off with some basic drills, and we'll progress the drills moving forward to things that are more complicated. We're going to use one ball, then eventually we'll use 2 basketballs, so that, again, if you are a novice player, we have drills for you, but if you are a more experienced player, we have drills to hopefully challenge you so you can continue to grow as a basketball player. The first thing we're going to work on is this concept called a push pass, okay? Push pass. My push pass looks a lot like my jump shot. I want to treat my pass a lot like my jump shot in terms I want to have one hand on the side, I want to have one hand behind the basketball, and when I pass the basketball, I want to make sure that I'm following through. So all I want to do is make sure that my hips are low, my knees are bent, I'm in the stance. I'm just going to work on passing the basketball, keeping my chest high, hips low, and passing the basketball. After I get done with that, I go to the other side, passing the basketball, because I got to be able to pass with both my left and my right hand with equal comfort. All right? Simple drill. That's a drill that I might do for maybe 50 passes or maybe 30 seconds just to get myself warmed up. Once I get done, then I might take a step back and work on my bounce pass. Same concept, hips low, knees bent. I'm working on passing the ball, but I'm also working on catching the basketball as well. And as you get good at this, you may want to try to take your eyes off the ball for a little bit so you can work on being able to catch the basketball with your peripheral vision. So my eyes are up, I'm looking here, but I know where the basketball is in space, and I can still grab it and get my hands on the basketball. So now what we're going to work on is we're going to work on passing the basketball off the bounce. Well, before we do that, we will pass the ball just with one hand, okay? And we're just going to work on catching the basketball with one hand. So we're catching it with one hand, because at some point, you might have to hold off a defender and make a pass. So you got to be able to handle and catch with one hand. Same thing with the other side. Still working on my accuracy. I don't want to baby the ball off the wall. I want to pound the ball off the wall so I can use my left hand in game time situations and make a pass. Now we'll start to progress the drill to a bounce. And if you talk about elite guards, or most of your elite guards are able to pound the basketball and deliver. So how do we work on that concept? I'm going to give you some corny verbiage here, but it makes sense. When I'm off the dribble, I want to pound the ball and get it on the platter so I can serve it. Sounds funny, sounds weird, but that's what's happening. I want to pound the basketball, get on the platter so I can serve it. So what I'm going to do is just pound the basketball hard in this driving stance. My hips are low, my knees are bent, feet are staggered, and I want to pound it and deliver. And again, I'm working on my hands. If I can catch the basketball comfortably with one hand, I'm going to be able to do it with two hands in a game time situation. I can also work on my bounce pass too. Try to keep low so you can get stronger operating low. Now again, a lot of these drills that we're doing, I would do them for maybe 50 passes, or potentially do them for a minute, or do them till you feel comfortable, just so that you give yourself a chance to make some mistakes, but you give yourself enough time to master the drill. All right, now we did the one bounce. Now we're going to add maybe a couple of dribble combinations, and I'm just going to do some random combinations, but these are things that you could do as well. Make sure that once you pass the ball, you always adjust your footwork. So if I do a cross, I'm always going to step to make my pass. If I go between the legs twice, my foot is going to be forward. That's the foot that I want to balance with, because this is on the same side as my hand. So if I go to the right side, right leg. If I go here, left leg, left hand. So let's get after it. Cross, step pass. Between the legs, step pass. Always want to stay low, wide stance, nice and strong, got a good foundation. And every time I pass, I want to step, because I'm probably going to have to step around my defender. I'm not going to do passes where I'm passing straight through the guy. I'm always going to be passing around. Now let's work on some behind the back concepts. Is this fancy? No, it's fundamentally sound. Sometimes when you're in transition, or maybe you're in the half-court set, you get to the paint, and they take away this pass or this pass, but you got to get it to the other side. Sometimes this is the only thing that's available. So let's start with a little behind the back drill. We'll go behind the back, working on one hand, just working on our catch, trying to control it, trying to hit the same spot. Some gyms have dots on the wall to help you out. What I try to do is make sure that every time I catch the basketball, it's coming back to the same spot. So that's the way that I use these bricks as a way to be targeted, so that I'm getting the basketball right where I want it. Same thing on the other side, so you can see what my hand is doing. Trying to hit the same spot. I don't want to move my feet, because if I move my feet, then that means that I'm out of control. So I want to keep my feet stationary and work on handling that basketball. Now I go behind my back, same thing. Now I catch it with two hands. I don't know how many behind the back passes with one hand I'm going to make. So I'll catch you with two, collect it, make sure I got possession of it. Go back the other way. And again, I'm doing this for at least a minute, maybe 2 minutes, or maybe I do it for 50 reps, or I do it until I feel comfortable. Now, what I might do now is off the bounce, I guess I will use one hand from time to time. Now I'm working on handling. And you never know, maybe you're coming off the pick and roll, the big pops, and you can't throw it across your body to get it to him. The defender's right here. So you go behind your back. You ever watch LeBron James play with Chris Bosh? This was a common thing. You'll see a lot of that this year, playing with Kevin Love. Come off the pick and roll, can't get it to him this way, behind the back pass. Now we'll elevate the drill a little bit. We're going to use two basketballs now. We'll elevate two basketballs, and now we're going to work on some of the same drills that we just did using two balls. Let's up the ante a little bit. Push pass, two basketballs. Hips low, knees bent, consistent mechanics, consistent passes, give me consistent results. Switch it up, left hand, under control, controlling the basketballs, able to mess up but still gain control. Now, what you may want to do is work on your footwork a little bit. So now, just going back a little bit, I can Work on fast feet. All right, it's just something to think about. So now we'll take the 2 basketballs, and now we're going to work on one hand pass.